Hello everyone, Hamas28 here, and today we're back in the world of compact claustrophobia. So, in order to not waste a lot of time, I went ahead and made those fusion electromagnets. As you can see, it was quite annoying, but I did throw in this nuclear furnace up here because we have infinite uranium grit, so I'm using it to pump ores from the grit form into the crafting inventory, the crafting grid storage. But now that that's done, come in here, completed. Give me my 32 fusion electromagnets. Cool. A lot of work for glowing stone. Induces change to nuclear structure. So we need to actually build the fusion reactor first. And it does say it fits within an N/9. So I had the idea of we could fit it in the giant compact machine, but since it does fit in the large, I thought it'd make more sense to use that because we're going to need the giant ones to make the full size compact machine. So this is the central... Oh, I should grab some cobblestone real quick. There we go. This is the central part. The core needs to have a ring of fusion electromagnets around it symmetrically, connected by 4 sets of fusion connectors. I wish there was more to what it would say. Fusion connectors. Fusion connector. Tough alloy, basic plating, copper. Connected by how many? I wish it showed, if I do this... Yeah, it doesn't actually show what it looks like, which is annoying. It's showing this stuff. Fusion reactor. Yeah, there's no way to show it. Base combo lifetime 200 ticks. Base max power 303 KRF. Optimal temperature. Hydrogen gas, helium. So it looks like we do have to power it somehow. So I might as well try to build this. Though I'm not sure how it works. Probably should have pulled up a guide. So let me see if I can pull one up real quick. Let's see. What mod is this from? Doesn't even say. What is this from? Fusion. Oh, it's from Nuclear Craft. Nuclear Craft Fusion Reactor. Yada yada. I want to see how to actually build it. This is all useless, but it does seem like you just put it in the center here. So if this is the center of the room and we place this guy here. Oh, it's actually a lot bigger than I thought. Interesting. The fusion core. So the core needs to have a ring of fusion electromagnets around it symmetrically, connected by 4 sets of fusion connectors on all 4 sides. The ring is actually a square that needs to be hollow, and does not require electromagnets to be diagonal to the hollow section. I don't know what that means though. I feel like since there's this thing here, we probably have to do it like this, and build a ring all around. And if it uses all the electromagnets, and I guess that's correct. That seems off. I should look up how to build this so I do it right. I'll come back in a second. Alright, thank you Gaming on Caffeine. So I was doing this completely wrong, so let me break these. We also need to elevate the main structure a little bit. So let me go ahead and break all of these. So I guess I misunderstood what it meant by a ring of fusion electromagnets, which I guess kind of makes sense. So let's go ahead and break all these down. Okay, so let's move you. This is the center, right? Center, yes. Let's do right 1, 2, 3. So I think right here. Yes. Okay, so you build a ring like so. Like that. Put a block here. Put another ring. Like so. Like this. And then we're going to fill the bottom next. So you do this side. Like so. Now I didn't actually finish the video, so I think this is what you have to do. Like that. And I trapped myself in the bottom. Go ahead, place this here. Place these on this side. We'll leave a gap. That goes here. And I think that's it. Now, how do you actually put power and stuff? I also need to set this guy up here. So I'm going to continue watching the video and see what to do next. Alright, so now that makes sense. We have to power all of these electromagnets. So luckily I made some tunnels beforehand. So we're going to put a tunnel here. Actually, where did I connect this guy? You're right here. What are you doing? Oh right, you're broken. So funny enough, I left him, I exactly did the trick I said I probably shouldn't do. So I just put in a loop that would never be fulfilled, so he continued to make more ender pearls. But as you can see, he ran out of obsidian. So when he went to rebuild the machine, he couldn't, and then it threw him off. So now he's sitting down there. And I have to fix that later. But for this to work, so this fusion reactor, I need to get power on the bottom and the top coils. So we need to put two tunnels. One is going to be on the upper side, the other one on the bottom side. The bottom side one will run and charge these two inner coils, and the top one will charge the outer coils. So we're going to need a lot of flux ducts and a ton of power, because each one takes up 200 RF per tick. So if we check in here, I don't have any more signalium, right? Yeah. 200 per tick flux duct. They take 200 per tick, and we have a lot of them. We're going to need something that could transfer a lot of power, which would probably mean the cryo-stabilized flux ducts, right? Because they could transfer infinite RF. But we don't have access to gelid cryotheum quite yet. So even though I can finish building it, we're not going to be able to power it. And this is all going to be used for the neutron irradiator. So we can actually craft that first. Let's see. Irradiator. That's what we're missing. Machine chassis. It's missing tough alloy, ferroboron, and lithium. I thought I made more of that. Ferroboron and lithium. Ferroboron. Lithium. Quickly grab some of that. Servo mechanism. Neutron irradiator. Neutron bombardment. That's for the... Now it wants us to make a fluid transposer, which I think I have one. Yeah, it's right here. Nothing in it, so I could just break it. Quest complete. And then hot stuff, glowing with excitement. So this is how we're going to make energized glowstone. Destabilized redstone, neutron fluid, and neutron fluid comes from the fusion reactor. So as you can see, we need... Most of it creates neutron fluid along with other stuff. So what are we going to use? We've been collecting deuterium from water, and that will create a bunch of other stuff we don't really need. Tritium, molten lithium, helium, neutron fluid, tritium. Not actually sure which one we're going to do. Lithium, helium. Helium. I guess it's whichever is the easiest. Molten boron. So if we do 2 molten borons, it generates 20 millibuckets of neutron fluid, but the optimal temperature is 358 GK, which is very high by the look of it. So I don't even know if we can reach that temperature. So I'll have to figure that out when we get there, but that's to make the energized glowstone. So let me stick this guy back up here. And the radiator is just a single block, right? Doesn't need to be attached to anything. It will need to be attached to the fusion reactor to pull the neutron fluid out. Along with this for the destabilized redstone. So for now we'll put him over here. We'll have to move this guy, say over here, that way we can pump the neutron fluid out. But for now that does work. But we're going to have to put that on hold for a little bit. So let me come in here and place our tunnels first. So we'll put a tunnel over here. That's going to be down, and we'll do the other one on the upside. And right here, so that's going to go up. Huh? Oh, I didn't. Fell inside. There we go. So we'll run it through here on the inside, and on the other side on the top, to make sure it's all powered. So that means I probably want to move this guy, like up here. And then you don't need a ton of power, so we can actually move him around. You could probably move him up there, actually. So if I grab you, like that, come inside, just make sure it reconnects. Oh, no, I put it directly... Did I? No. Yeah, there we go. It's not connected. There we go. So that reconnects it. And I'm going to have to fix that at some point. But it's just really slow to remove the obsidian. So let's grab the rest of the ender pearls. So that gets us to the glowstone, which is really annoying. But I guess we are at pure Blizz, which is going to be useful for making our flux ducts. Flux duct. Because I think that's what you need, right? Gelid cryotheum comes from cryotheum dust, which comes from Blizz powder. And I think that's kind of what it wants you to do. So to make the cryo-stabilized flux ducts, we're going to need the empty version, which will take a resonant flux duct, which takes enderium ingots, which are pretty easy to get. Enderium blend. We can make it from platinum, lead, and resonant ender can come from the melter with ender pearls, and it makes 250. So we are going to have to craft quite a lot, but luckily I don't have to take the time to do it myself, which is very nice. Ender fragments. There's no crafting for these, so I don't know where they come from. So let's keep it going. Blizz powder. So to make Blizz powder, we need to make Blizz rods, right? No. Blizz powder. Let's see. Nothing quite as cool as this. Blizz powder. Here we go, the fluid transposer. So we needed snowballs and liquid XP from the essence of knowledge. And we can put it in here by setting, yeah, by doing that. So if we take the fluid transposer and set it to empty, see, how do I set to fill mode empty and put it in here? It will start emptying the book in there. So now it's full of essence of knowledge. Now we'll take this essence of knowledge fluid transposer, and now we need a second fluid transposer or a tank of sorts. Should I put this in its own container? Maybe I should. Maybe do it in here, because it might get a little cramped right here. No, we have the room for it. So let me make a second fluid transposer. Fluid transposer. Gonna need a gear, machine frame, redstone coil, 2 more copper gears to make this. Now let's also add some more copper and nickel and tin. So we're gonna put you right here so we have power, and we're gonna need our fluid duct like that. Configuration, auto input enabled. It won't let us input from the front. I should be able to do that though. Auto input from the blue side. What side is that? Is that the back? Front, this is the back, so we want this to be blue. It's connected. Blue. Blue. Let me make all of it blue. Now if I grab you, put you back in there, turn you around. Oh, why did obsidian go inside? Oh, there's this manufactory breaking it down. I completely forgot about that. So now we have the essence of knowledge. Now to make turn it into Blizz powder, we need snowballs, and snowballs came from the glacial precipitator. Where did I put it? Oh, right here. Just need to put water in there, which means what I should do is actually grab some snowballs. I think they're in here. No. I know I made some. There we go, snowballs. I need to set this to not enable. Put that in there. Mode locked. Oh, it's just really slow. Let's make some upgrades for this guy. I did not realize it was going to be that slow to process. I've never actually made it this far in thermal foundation. Silver gear. Hardened and reinforced. It's going a little bit faster. Now we can add some speed augmentations. Speed. We want these ones. And how much power are we pulling? 120 RF per tick. Okay, it's going a lot faster now. And I need it to pull all of the liquid XP from this fluid duct. Because what I'm thinking, since I have the glacial precipitator right here, I can actually swap the position. We'll lose a little bit, that's fine. Let me take you off. So grab you. I can't reach it, I'm too short. And you. So which one had the stuff in it? Oh, that actually erased it. Alright, that was kind of a waste of stuff. Regardless, so we're going to put you here, and you here. You're going to go to empty mode, like that. Then we're going to turn you around. Auto output, orange, no. Orange, there we go. Fluid duct. Auto output enabled. Then this on the bottom, auto input, needs to go to blue. And why isn't that working? Front, bottom, blue, auto input enabled. Essence of knowledge, empty mode. Orange, orange is output. So why aren't you pulling? Let me see, if I throw an extractor on you. Okay, that seems to work. Now we can set this guy to auto output left side. And he just needs some water. So if we make another infinite water source. Infinite water. and throw him on top. Fills with water, makes the snowball. Now you on the right side, auto input, needs to be blue. Snowballs go in. See, this guy has my speed augments. And that's going to continue to make more Blizz powder. Now, the only thing is the essence of knowledge comes from our experience. And we don't have a lot of it. Although, since I set up this hopper network, if I remember correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this furnace should be holding all of the XP from the ores we're processing. So at any point, if I just pull an ingot out like this, okay, that did not give me nearly as much XP as I thought. I thought it would store all the XP, because I thought usually if you have a bunch of them set up like that, the item pulls out but the XP stays inside. Because I get XP out of these guys, as you can see, like that. Well, I can get more XP doing that, but there's got to be an easier way to automate XP. But now we have access to Blizz powder. A way for the unexperienced. Experience is priceless, therefore a way to get Blizz for a price is useful. Fluid infuser. Let's see, this might be showing us an easier way to do it. Fluid infuser. Machine chassis. Servo mechanism. 2 more advanced plating. Fluid infuser. Not advisable as popsicle. So now we can take the Blizz powder plus oxygen gas to make a Blizz rod. And then we can take a Blizz rod and pulverize it into 4 Blizz powder. Oh, okay, gotcha. So I don't need to make more Essence of Knowledge. I can use 2 Blizz powder. I can use 2 Blizz powder and oxygen to make a Blizz rod, and then I can then crush that Blizz rod into 4 to double the amount of Blizz powder I get. So actually, it might have made sense. No, because it's a loop. Because we're going to take this Blizz powder and put oxygen in here. Oxygen we can get from... Am I filling me with oxygen? I am filling this guy with oxygen. Oh, right, because I was already using this to make the oxygenated fuel. Like that. And now we could just pulverize these to make Blizz powder, and you also get some snowballs. Although the snowballs are useless since we can make infinite snowballs pretty easily. But then you could just stick that back in there, and we produce infinite Blizz rods. Awesome. And I built this in advance without even thinking of that. Is there any other uses for these? Pulverizer. Oh, I see. Because if you pulverize it in your inventory, you only get 2. But if you pulverize it in the machine, you get 4 out of it. And it only takes 2 machines. So what I could do is I could replace this fluid infuser with a little compact machine and just have it essentially go in a circle where it deposits Blizz powder into a cache, pulls the Blizz powder out of the cache into the infuser to make Blizz rods, pull the Blizz rods out into a pulverizer, and then put the pulverized stuff back into the cache to generate infinite versions of it. So it's a good thing that answered my own question before I went crazy, but now we can make cryotheum, and that's going to take a snowball, redstone, and some of that Blizz powder. So I guess it is useful that this makes snowballs as a byproduct, because now we can produce our cryotheum. Done. And with that, we should be able to make... We can make the Signalum upgrade kits now. What is that? Oh, you can use it for some of this stuff. But I guess that's related to smelting. Oh, you can use it... Oh, because it's essentially cooling it down. Is what it's getting at. But now... Oh, we can also make the cryotheum coolers. That will let me upgrade our fission reactors. So now if I type flux duct, gelid cryotheum just has to get put in the magma crucible. So we'll need electrum hardened glass resonant flux ducts, which come from enderium ingots. So I'll need to make a bunch of enderium ingots, which isn't too bad. Lead, platinum, and resonant ender. Or we can throw in the arc furnace. It'll be faster to use this way. Lead platinum alloys, 3 lead to 1 platinum. So that we do have a lot of platinum that we haven't been using. And where's my magma crucible? Nullifier, sawmill. Ah, here it is, magma crucible. So now we can make the the cryostabilized flux ducts. And that will let us actually run the fusion reactor. Pretty good. I think I'll need some more space though. Actually, there's room up here, so I could put that stuff in here. And that'll work. It's just a shame we need these enderium stuff. Enderium ingot. Enderium blend. Resonant ender. And how much does it take for a single ingot? So enderium blend takes a bucket. A bucket is 1,000 millibuckets, and that means we need 4 ender pearls per, which is pretty expensive. That's 250. 250. Nope, that's nothing. So we're gonna need a lot of ender pearls, which means I need to fix... Where did I put them? No. Oh, I put them up here. I need to fix this guy, because we need a lot more ender pearls. So I vastly underestimated just how many ender pearls we were gonna need. But at least, why are you running out of oxygen? Oxygen should be coming out of here. You're full of oxygen. You're almost full. You're not doing anything. Oh, I guess it just pulled out all the reserves from here. So it's still pumping more oxygen. It's just a little slow about it. And I can't make it go too much faster without more energy upgrades. Quite yet. Quite yet. But it should work perfectly fine. This needs more fluorites. But I don't need any more of those for now. So, looks like all we do have to do for now is increase how much oxygen we can get in order to get more Blizz rods, but we do have quite a good supply right now, so we can make some more cryotheum dust. So pretty good. So we just have to make, how many ender pearls do we have? 58. So every 4 is a bucket. So we do have a good amount. So let's make some enderium ingots. Then I can throw these in the arc furnace. So we need enderium blend, lead, platinum ore, and resonant ender buckets. So if for resonant ender, we need to take our magma crucible and put it next to the fluid transposer. So let's craft another fluid transposer. Machine frame. 2 copper gears. Redstone coil. machine frame, and fluid transposer. So now if we take our magma crucible, and where should we move this? It's getting kind of cramped in here. We do have room in here. Yeah, I'll put it in there. So let's grab you. Come into our IE machines. And we could just put it right here. So magma crucible and fluid transposer. So now if we just take our ender pearls, which I forgot to bring. Grab 16 of them and come in here. Put that in there. Now we'll set this to auto output on the right, auto input on the left. Resonant ender goes inside, and this goes pretty quick too. So now we have resonant ender, and now we'll use this stuff. Flux, resonant ender, enderium ingot, enderium blend, bucket. And I should be able to use this guy, I think, instead of a bucket. At least I think I can. Why aren't you filling? There we go. So 4,000. At least I think it works like a bucket. Let's see, because if I do you, if I come in here, resonant enderium, enderium blend, I can. Perfect. 16. Now we can just chuck this into our arc furnace. Let's see, and the batteries are all full, so it's not draining super fast. And it does it all at the same time to make our enderium ingots. And now that we have those, oh, did not mean to do that. Crescent wrench is a bit too strong. We can make resonant flux ducts, and because we need the empty version to make this, and to make that we need signalum flux ducts, which need redstone energy flux ducts. And that makes me realize I'm going to need to make a lot more of this stuff. Why does it take the prior ones? Okay, so it stops at redstone energy flux ducts. That's good. So let's make a bunch of these. Now we need to fill these. Redstone energy. Oh, we could just make empty versions, because then use the empty version. But then this one has to be filled. So the resonant flux duct has to be filled first. Well, at least that makes it easier. So, how much signalum do we have? 37. We have some more blends. Let me cook that stuff. We'll have to replace these electrodes. Luckily, they last quite a long time. We'll have to make some more signalum blend, though. Luckily, it's not too bad. It's just making stuff out of the... What's the word? I need to get buckets of items, which makes it a little bit annoying. Okay. So now we can do that. So now we use this in here to make 60 of these. Then we combine that to make 48 of these. Now we need to fill this with destabilized redstone, and destabilized redstone can be made in the melter or the centrifuge. So if we use our melter here, I could put a tank in front of it to store all of it, and the melter goes extremely fast. Yeah, see, you can't fill it like that. You have to use a fluid transposer. Let's see, we haven't used the sawmill in a while, so I'm going to move you over yonder. Let's make a fluid transposer again. That way I'll have this fluid transposer hold all of the destabilized redstone. Oh, what are we missing? Oh, a bucket. We'll put that here. Oh, but I can't have it output like that. So I'll have to do a workaround. A servo. It's so annoying that these machines don't auto output. Okay, like that. What did you do? Let's see, I think actually we just have to do this. Break that one. Don't connect there. Why would you go on that side? Because now I got to replace the whole thing. There, here. And it doesn't, I can't even put it in from the inside. Let's see, I need to turn you like that. Auto input. Think on this side. No? Oh wait. This side? It's on the back, isn't it? Okay, there we go. Pulled all of that out. So now if I break you, and then turn you to the side, we can set this to always emit. Now we can grab some redstone. Throw that in here. Put that in there. Empty mode, empty the tank. Grab that. Now we can take our resonant things and fill them to make fully filled resonant flux ducts. And then we can use these to make the cryo-stabilized flux ducts. It's all coming together. This could definitely use like a full supply chain though. That's really annoying. But I don't think I'll need so many of them. I mean, at some point I might want to upgrade all of our signalum flux ducts to these now. But I don't think I have to technically do that right now. Because since I put it right here, it's next to the energy source. Oh, but these only output 9,000 RF per tick, which means upgrade. I'll need to make these guys. Signalum. Pyrotheum. Oh, I can make that. Huh, I never realized. Lumium gear. Lumium ingots. Lumium blend. Oh, we don't have energized glowstone yet. We're almost there. Why do I have a fluid infuser? What are you for? Huh? Where did this guy come from? Why do I have this? Oh, right. No. Huh? Why do I have a fluid infuser? Where did this come from? Okay. So if I put this here... So now this can store 32 million RF and it outputs 16,000 RF every tick, which is very good. Actually, so what I could do is if I upgrade all of these flux duct to the cryostabilized version, then I wouldn't even need to pass it through the battery. I could just have it come directly from the reactors. I'll just, because then I would just, I'd have to move these down one. I'd have to move all these down to have the flux duct here and connect it to this guy, but that would work. Still don't remember where this guy came from though, which is really weird. So strange. But now that I can make those upgrades, now that I can make the Signalum upgrades, I can upgrade all of our thermal expansion machines to make them faster, which is pretty good. The only, what would need to be faster? Oh, I can make the redstone furnace faster, so we can produce more coal coke at even higher speeds. That's probably the only one I can think of right now. So now that that's done, yeah, that's what we'll have to do now. So now that we have access to our resonant flux ducts, let's turn these into these guys. 7. We're gonna need a lot more hardened glass. Luckily that comes from pulverized obsidian and lead, I believe. What machine made this? It was the alloy furnace. Where did I move the alloy furnace? Melter, fluid duct. Oh. How do I make it? Induction smelter. This guy. Okay, that will make more hardened glass. So let's go ahead and start updating these. Let's see, I put it on the bottom and the top, right? Wait, why are these empty? Wait, I have to refill these? Oh, because they have to be filled with gelid cryotheum. Okay, so I can't even use these yet. See, luckily we can just make more of this. So to make gelid cryotheum, so to fill these, we need gelid cryotheum, which we can put in a melter, and then we'll just have to fill it with another fluid transposer. I'm going to need a second melter. That's what I need. Melter. Okay, we got mostly everything. We need 3 more of these. Machine chassis. Servo mechanism. Let's break down some more obsidian, so I can make some more upgrades. And we'll put this guy... Do I have another machine? I have this guy right here. Let's see, you're passing energy through here. And we don't need to enter this guy, because that's just where the wood comes from. So, if we put you right here, do I have any more tunnels? The bottom. Down. Perfect. Grab... How much power does this use at full energy? 2600. That's fine. We're going to upgrade these later. Leadstone, put that here. Melter, and then we need another fluid transposer. We're essentially copying this thing up here. Fluid transposer. Machine gear. Machine frame. Redstone coil, 2 more copper gears. Fluid transposer. Now we can come in here. That one here. Now we just need to melt cryotheum dust. Oh wait, I have to actually move this over 1. Almost forgot. Because this guy doesn't want to do it. Into there. grab another, oh, I have the servo right here. Grab this servo, set you to pull, look at you, left side auto input, like so. So now the cryotheum dust will be melted down into gelid cryotheum. It'll get pulled into the fluid transposer, and it will fill up our cryostabilized flux ducts. It will take 500 millibuckets though, so let's speed this guy up. Let's see, 40. Let's make some energy upgrades, because otherwise that's going to completely drain the battery. There we go, 520. And now that's producing the gelid cryotheum. This is going slow, so we'll have to upgrade the fluid transposer here as well. But now we can start making our cryo-stabilized flux ducts. It's been a long time coming. Now we can just throw that on here, and it's so much cooler. It's such a massive pipe. But I guess it's supposed to be like, the pipe is on the inside, it's just super cooled to make it into a superconductor. That's what I think it's getting at. Why aren't you pulverizing? Oh, it's full of snowballs. Blizz powder goes in here, makes some more. Keep the circle going. And then we should be able to do everything we need. So now we just have to actually power our fusion reactor. And once we have all of these cryostabilized flux ducts, we'll be able to do it. So first, we're going to have to turn everything off by moving everything down first. Let me grab these guys. Then we'll move this guy here. There we go. 16,000 FE is being pulled every tick. We will have to... I still do need the batteries though, because they provide a buffer for the reactors. But I guess at some point, if we can keep the reactors fully powered all the time, then we could just use the cryostabilized flux ducts everywhere. So now if we come in here, grab that. Oh, we're all out. Snowballs, put that in here. Make some more. Oh, it has to be the gelid form. My bad. And it all works out. So now we'll be able to make quite a lot. So how many are we going to need in total for this entire project? Luckily, we could connect all of these using half. So if you take a look here, we only have to put them in this inner ring, and then on this outer ring. So if this room is a 9x9, right? Large compact machine. Yeah, it's a 9x9. So that means we'll need 9, 18, plus 7, 25, 32, 32, 37, 42, 48. So we only need 48 of these, which is a lot less than I thought. So that's really cool. So how many do we actually have to go right now? We have 5. That's going to keep processing more, which is good. So we'll need at least like 52, because I have this going down and the one on the top, like that, to make sure both sides get it. So yeah, 42. That's all we'll need. So let's see if we can make that. If we need 42 flux ducts, We need 42 of the empty ones, which will need 42 resonant of these, which will need 42 signalum flux ducts, which will need 42 redstone. That's why we're making more in our induction smelter. And we could just keep it going indefinitely. Cool. So I'm definitely going to have to change this to be in a loop, so I don't have to keep manually doing this, like I said. Especially since I also needed this oxygen gas for our nuclear fuel. So I'll either have to make a second electrolyzer and move it up there. That might be the case, actually. Keep the production with the energy production. Isotope separator, induction furnace. So that's 48. We do need electrum, which I think we're about to use it all. Yeah, we only have... Actually, that makes 6. We only need, yeah, 48. So now we use these with our signalum to make 48 signalum flux ducts. Now we need 48 of the resonant ones, which is gonna take a lot more enderium, which means we need more resonant ender, which we're coming from where we were making the resonant ender. Was it in here? Where did I put it? Ender pearl, but we only have 42 ender pearls anyway. So will this be enough? Not really, no. Neutron or radiator. Was I just using this one? I already forgot. I think it was. My memory is not that great. But anyways, we could see what we need to do. So I'm going to make the rest of the flux ducts, and then we'll come back and finish the fusion reactor. Alright, so I think I have enough to make it. Luckily, it was funny. I did find it, I remember. I put it in here. But we did use all of our ender pearls. So we have 0 ender pearls at this point. But now we can connect all of this stuff together. So we should be able to just dig out through here. Ouch. Replace this. Now if we come out over here. I did not account for... Oh, does it power transfer through this? I think it does. Because they're turning green. Okay, cool. So power transfers through them. So I did not need to make this many. Good to know. I still do have to move it up here, though, because these ones aren't connected. Like so. So if I do this, power is flowing. Probably, yeah, depleting all of our energy stores. Yeah, 16,000 FE per tick is flowing through this guy. But these guys suck up a lot of power. 200 FE per tick, which is probably why even then that's not enough. E-magnet's not powered, fusion reactor. Temp 15 kk. Wait, is this on right now? The temperature is rising, so I think it's actually stealing power at this point, which is not what we want, I think. But everything is starting to get energy. Oh, that's not good. It said waiting for server. Gotcha. Okay, so it is working. We just need to supply it with way more power than what we currently have. Because the power coming out of here is good. Let's see if we come in this guy. Yeah, this guy's still working. He's producing 7,000 RF per tick. But this signalum flux duct can support 16,000, but we do have a lot more of these flux ducts available, so let's upgrade these guys to the new hotness. There we go, so that way we can pull so much more power. These ones as well, we're going to have to upgrade. Let's go up there. I did like how I was able to fit all of these inside pretty effectively. It's a shame I couldn't be more efficient with it. When I envisioned it, I thought I'd be able to fit all 4 on one side. But sadly, for some reason, the controllers have an issue if you do it like that. So I had to split it like this. Okay, so those are all connected. So now once I turn these on, that should generate enough power to run it all. See, 7,000 is still flowing through. Yeah, I think the issue is we're not generating enough power to run it. All of the fusion electromagnets are working, unless we're missing something with the fusion core. Fusion core. The central part that produces large amounts of energy from the heat generated by a nuclear fusion reaction. The core needs to have a ring of fusion electromagnets around it, symmetrically connected by 4 sets of fusion connectors on all 4 sides. The ring, which is actually a square, needs to be hollow and does not require electromagnets to be diagonal to the hollow section. Active fluid coolers can be used here instead to make sure that the 4 corners are fully squared off too. Fusion connectors. Connects a fusion core to its ring of electromagnets. 4 sets of them are required for each side of the core. Maybe I missed something from the video? Let me double check. Alright, so after consulting the elders, it is working. We just lack the power to actually run this guy. Because if we take a look, the fusion electromagnet takes 200 RF per tick. Let me grab my calculator. 200 RF per tick, and we have 96 of them. So if we have 96 and they take 200 RF per tick, we need 19,200 RF per tick to keep this powered. Now, if you look at this guy, that is quite literally our max power, 7,040. So we need to generate an extra 12,160 RF per tick to get this running. Now that should be possible, because I don't need that anymore, using our uranium. So if we take this guy, grab our uranium-235, get some clumps. We're going to need a bit more of that. Let that run. Uranium-235. And make LEU-235 fuel. That's what this was for. We combined that to make LEU-235 oxide fuel. Let's come into the reactor. This guy takes LEU-235, so he has some in there already. So let's add an additional 2300 power. Now when that's fully used up, it's going to go in here. We need to power these as well, so might as well use these signalum flux ducts that we broke earlier. Like so. And now that's going to break down the depleted one. So now our power gain has increased, if we go outside, to 9.4 thousand. Now if we come back in here, does this guy have any? This guy is out of fuel. But now that we have this stuff in here, we need to make LEU-233. How much radiation is coming in here, now that I think about it? 16 NRADs. 11 URADs. I believe that's higher. That's not lethal though, right? I think we're fine. So we need to use that stuff to make LEU-233. oxide, LEU 233, oxide fuel, uranium 233. Wait, do I not get any more of this? I thought that's all I had to do, uranium 233 oxide. Where did I get this before? Isotope L233 oxide fuel, 233 oxide. But I thought the whole point that I set it up, when I set this up, was that that's what I get. Neptunium, do I have neptunium? How did I do this before? Tiny clip of newtonium, 237. So we need this stuff, which takes uranium. Uranium 233 oxide, 237. Oh, that's how I did it. So I need this stuff. And then we can break this down. Not like that. 233. We need to use the hastener to turn the 237 into uranium 233. That way I have the fuel to run the next tier. And then the next tier. This was working better when I was reading the guide, when I was setting it up, which is why I have no idea what I'm doing now, because I don't have the guide open. Let's see, do you have any fuel? No, and that would generate another amount of energy. Do you have any left over? No, these guys are empty. Depleted, depleted. 350 MRADs per tick. Seems pretty high. Like a very dangerous amount. In physics we trust. Obtain some americum. Oh, I got some. And it seems like our radiation level is spiking quite high now. Which is not the greatest. But we should be able to get enough power to run the fusion reactor once I figure out the fuel situation. So I'm going to have to set up. I'm going to have to build that supply chain along with fixing... Where was it broken? Oh, I can't see him anymore because I blocked him off with the sawmill. There he is. We'll move you right... Let's put him in the tree farm. There we go. So we should be able to power the fusion reactor once I figure out how to get the energy from our fission reactors going correctly. So I'm going to figure that out, and then we'll come back in a second. Alright, we're finally back. You will not believe the type of math I had to do, but it all worked out. So as you can see, we're now producing 21,000 FE per tick. It does fluctuate quite a bit. And I remembered, oh yeah, I made these elevators, so I installed those. Now we can actually go up and down. That's what it's for. So you can see the fusion reactor is slowly starting to heat up. Very slowly. I'm not exactly sure how we... Yeah, it says E-magnet's not powered. But you can see it should be working super effectively. I think part of the issue is that you come up here, is that this cryostabilized flux duct is sharing a pipe with this, but I don't think that should be an issue. Let's see, actually, maybe if I do... No, because if I have it input, blue is all input, and then it comes back around. Oh, maybe I should turn off this right one. Yeah, make it orange for output. Yeah, it's starting to drain faster. So if we come in here, okay, there we go. That seems to have solved it. We come on the bottom. A few of these are still not powered. So yeah, should have a little bit extra over here. Let's go ahead and just plug in these guys. Okay, that seems to have fixed it. We did only have one over here. So, okay, there we go. It's all working. Temperature change, it's slowly heating up. It's going to take quite a while to turn on. but now it's actually working. And it only took me an hour to set up the fission reactor automation. Luckily, with how I built it, so if you come in here, all I have to provide it is LEU 235 oxide fuel. You only have to feed in this 235, and then it works. So, essentially, how the supply chain works is LEU 235 is going to be fed into this reactor here. It's then going to use the fuel and generate 2352 RF per tick for about 8 minutes. Or actually, I think it's like 4 minutes or so. That depleted fuel will then get processed and push those products into this compact machine. It's then going to process those byproducts into the next tier fuel, LEU 233 oxide, where the exact same thing is going to happen. Then, once it processes that fuel, it comes up here, it snakes through this pipe. Which side was it? Oh, over here. It snakes all the way around from that corner. I think you can see it in the back over here. Yeah, see? So it snakes all the way around the room into this fission controller, places HEP 241 oxide, processes it in here, produces HECM 247 oxide, and then it goes into this fuel processor where nothing happens. I did not set up that one. I think after HECM 247, depleted HECM 247, you get depleted HECM 247 fuel, and if you put that in the fuel reprocessor, this is where you get californium and berkelium, and I believe that's where it stops. Once we have californium, you can use it to make a block of californium, and then I believe, yeah, we can use a block of californium in the crucible to create way more obsidian. And then there should also be another way to use it as well. 251 to create, thought there was another thing you can use it for. 251. How do I make the nuclear craft? There's a fuel block that generates electricity without having to do any work. Let's see, there's all of that. So it should be on the front page. Oh, here we go. The californium RTG. So once you have californium 250, you can combine it with graphite ingots, advanced plating, to make a californium RTG, which just produces 400 RF per tick, constantly, zero upkeep. It takes a while to get there, but once we get there, we're done. And to get that, we need tiny clumps of californium, which comes from this stuff here. So we will have to go through one more to make one of these fuels, which comes from the HECM. Let's see, HECM 247 oxide. So it's going to come from one of these, I think. I was just following the guide. Once I had all 4 of these up and running for enough power, I decided to stop there. And luckily, through this process, it also generates, like this one produces tiny clumps of uranium-235, which is the same fuel that is made in this one. So they do produce byproducts that will then feed back into the loop to make it more efficient. It's just I wasn't sure if... I know I could do it, I just wasn't sure how long it would take if I would then, okay, now I have 235, how do I take it out of this box and then continually process that into more fuel? But now that that's done, and we're generating a ton of power, you can come in here. This guy's heating up very slowly, as you could see. E-magnet's not powered. Seems that we're still not producing enough energy. Oh, because it was higher before. I think one of them ran out of fuel already. Let's see. Yep, you're out of fuel. You're not. Why can't I click into this one? Uh-oh. I think the game is lagging on the server side because it's not letting me interact with stuff. Yeah, waiting for server. So that's not good. I've been having this issue a lot more often now, and I'm not sure what's causing it. I think I have too many compact machines, so it's trying to keep too much stuff loaded. I might have to allocate more RAM to actually use it. If we come in here and take a look, allocated, no, that doesn't seem to be the issue, but as you can see, it is a TPS problem. Turn that back on. Yeah, this is out, so this is processing it. At least it's supposed to. If we come in here, did I turn this one on? I didn't. Okay, so pull that out. So now that's going to start doing it. There we go, it's working. So you could see the tiny clump of curium. And so now these ones are processing, going in here. Why isn't this one doing it? 246 oxide. Oh, wait. Hecum 247 oxide fuel. $247 oxide. $246, $247. Why isn't this working? 247 oxide, 246 oxide. Oh, there's no power in here. Whoops. There we go. So now that's producing the Hecum 247 oxide fuel. It gets taken out. It goes through the pipes. And into this generator. So now this one will turn back on and generate 4600 RF per tick for 11 minutes. Not bad. So I think to keep up with the energy needs of the fusion reactor, I'm going to have to figure out how to process that fuel next, and then have a bigger reactor just for efficiency. Yeah, because now that the breeder reactors ran out of fuel, our entire energy supply is now depleting quite fast. Is this still heating up? It is, just very slowly. So we're going to need a lot more power. And I think the best way to do that is using those americium blocks, the RTGs. 4 RF, 100 RF, 50, 400. Yeah, so if we can produce a couple Californium RTGs, that should be enough, because that means every RTG can power 2 fusion electromagnets, which is pretty good. But I think that means I'm going to have to disconnect it for now, because it's actually cutting off power everywhere. Where's my... I lost my crescent hammer? Where did I put it? Croissant hammer. I don't know where I left it. But it's kind of solved. Now we just need to actually produce enough power in the long term to actually keep it running. People in the comments were telling me, oh, you're going to need a lot of power coming up. But I did not realize it was going to take this much power. We're close though. I have the capacity, I just lack the resources right now. And then let's see, how are you doing? It looks like he ran out of obsidian. Yeah, because he's throwing redstone. Funny. The reason it's not breaking entirely is because I have this empty block here, he can't actually place the redstone block. Wait, he is broken. How did you end up here? Stop. How did you end up right here? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so it looks like he did it 65 times before he ran out. That's so weird. I understand that he kept throwing stuff here, but he should have never stopped moving unless there's a redstone block down here somewhere? No. I wonder why he got... Oh, maybe when there was the server lag, he lost his position. Maybe that's what happened. I did take them out. There was like... How many did I get? 128, which is pretty good. I was reading a comment today actually saying how there's a better way to do it using the... What did he say? He said it was a red herring. Right here, yes. Because I noticed it because it was in all caps. Do not do the robot with a copy-paste gadget. Let me see here. Copy. He was saying you can actually shift right-click a container with the gadget to bind the inventory, and then you can use an auto-clicker to copy-paste it. But I'm not sure how I'd automate it with this because the clicker clicks every like second or so, and the craft takes a lot longer. Yeah, as long as you have the proper redstone timings, then you can completely automate it that way. So I'd have to figure out what the timings are. But I guess that's another solution. But anyways, we've made quite a lot of progress today. We did quite a lot of stuff. Very difficult stuff. Yeah, see, some of these reset. Like, why did the strongbox reset? That's so weird. But we're getting closer. Once we can actually power the fusion reactor, that will let us collect the stuff needed to make glowstone. Because right now, we're missing neutron fluid, and that's going to come from the fusion reactor. But once we actually fix the fission reactor problems and have it generating power constantly, along with getting the Americium blocks, we'll be able to make our energized glowstone. It also makes molten potassium hydroxide, which I'm not sure what that's for. You can break it down into potassium, oxygen gas, and other stuff. Not sure what you actually need that for. But anyways, I'm your host, Hamas28, and I'll see you guys next time.